Guys, I didn't know that this is happening in Kenya. Actually, there is was it 2023? It was being advertised that people can sell their kidneys for money. And of course, it was being quoted in terms of 4 million. There is a time also they exposed the selling of, was it toes? And people are joking on internet, talking about people selling their toes, selling their kidneys and part of their bodies. And people are like, if you could check on comment section, people are like, hey, wakujie zangu zote. And I was just looking at those comments and saying, do they know the impact? Because God knows why we should have 2 kidneys. And in situation where you donate, sometimes people who are almost dying are the ones who are supposed to donate because, of course, they are going to save life as they die. Even the cornea and all that. But it has turned out that with the current generation, people think you can actually sell what you have and you have so many years to live. Then you operate with one, like a kidney. Yeah? And of course, they believe with the selling, they'll be able to. Now, do you know why people do that? Huh? Funny enough, people in Kenya don't think that they are going to sell the kidney or the toe or whichever part of the organs for progress. Not like they want to buy land or to pay fees or something like that. It's funny that somebody does that and they only buy a car or maybe a phone. Look at that. You know, I always look at a car as a liability, yeah? It's a liability. If I buy a car now at 1 million, I'm very sure if I want to sell tomorrow, I'll not sell at 1 million. So I consider a car is a liability. If I buy even now at 800,000, 2 hours later, it's hard enough to get somebody who will buy the same car at 800,000. But land, if I buy now, even at 300,000, I'm telling you, it's possible that in the next 2 hours or 3, I'll sell it even at 400,000. Believe me or not, unless I'm desperate, I'm going to sell it at a higher price. So land is an asset. Car or phone, liability. And as long as I have one for communication, even if I'm doing videos, I have one that can enable me. I don't need 2 or 3. So guys, let's just look at a video that was captured for a young man from Eldoret. And maybe we can proceed later. In that video, this guy sold a kidney at 500,000 Kenyan shillings. Can you imagine? 500 Kenyan shillings, something that should sustain your life. God knows why he gave you that kidney, and you should live with it for life. You've not donated to save a life, and maybe if they decide to pay you, they pay you to appreciate that. You've just sold because you made a deal. We call it deals. Huh? You made a deal that was going to make you acquire a car and a phone, something that cannot help even your family. Now imagining this young man, since he did that, now he has become consistently ill, visiting hospitals. And of course the car was broken down from what I have heard, yeah? Yeah, and the guy, of course, is going from hospital to hospital with the mother. The mother was never there when he was donating. And of course, the mother, I suspect, she was not aware of what happened. Now, a funny aspect is that Medhill, Medhill Hospital. I used to respect this hospital a lot because, of course, when you come to Minet and all that, people from Kitale and all over, the Trans Nzoia and even Uasin Gishu and other places, including Kakamega, they visit this hospital because it has the best doctors, most of them Indians, of course. I didn't expect that it could be used in this kind of businesses, you know. These are backstreet businesses, you know, because it has not been legalized in Kenya to sell such things as kidneys and organs, right? So I was quite surprised that Medhill, this kind of hospital, could be involved in such scandalous business. Yeah? Buying kidneys, having doctors operate on someone to have a kidney sold. Yeah? And of course, those people involved in this kind of business, from what I heard from this guy, the guys from Arabic countries and others, promising money and then they give, and sometimes they don't pay wholly. Now, from the latest information, another video that I just saw yesterday, it is not just one patient. There are so many young people who have been engaged in such businesses, and of course they have been cheated to give their kidneys at a lower price. Somebody was on comment section and saying, hoi, hawa wanaharibu biashara ya 4 million wanauza at 500,000. And I was like, oh, even if it's 4 million, is it worth it? Okay, let's say then that is worth it. Then what do you use this money for? If at all, you will again buy land and maybe build a house. And even before you have kids, you become a sickling. Of what help will it be? Maybe some will justify that it's worse than suffering all your life in poverty. You know, poverty has a way of making you think differently. Of course, in Kenya, currently, people are saying money is everything. Yeah? And what money cannot do, more money can do. That's the saying most people use. And of course, when you don't have money, we believe money is the solution to everything. And people say, I would rather cry in a Prado than smile on a bicycle. That's the common saying in Kenya. And I can't convince anyone that money is not important, because I know, even personally, that money is important. However, I think if this business has to be, then it has to be legalized and a correct figure be given. If people have decided to sell their organs and be sick, then I'm imagining once you become sick, how much money will you use? Now, I'm also just questioning myself. Can someone survive with one kidney? And if possible, for those who are selling, is there a correct testing done to ensure that they can survive with one kidney? Or is it just done an operation that is done? Because I believe, just like blood donation, there are people who can survive once they donate blood and there are those who can't. So is there any proper testing that is done to ensure that they are, proving that this person can survive with one kidney after donating one? That's my concern. Now, of late, Eldoret has been earmarked as a place where selling of organs is going on, and it's a scandalous business because it has not been proven in Kenya. So let's just look at this video shortly again and see what is happening in Eldoret.
This is where human kidneys are being traded. And it's happening right out in the open.
Back then I was, or maybe even still am, selfish because I wanted that kidney.
If I could go back in time, I would have never agreed to any of this.
They are making money via children like Amon.
For a fact, this is organized crime.
Why has Eldoret in Kenya become an international hotspot for organ trafficking?
There are very powerful people who may be involved. My life could be in danger.
In a months-long investigation with German media organizations Der Spiegel and ZDF, we researched a multi-million organ trafficking network, reaching far beyond Kenya's borders. And it's...
You saw that. What do you think about this kind of business if you are a parent and you realize your child has sold a kidney? When they become sick, that is when they reveal. And you saw them coming with a car, you saw them coming with a phone at some point. Of course, many parents would ask, and you will just... Many young people will cheat. They won't say the truth because they know their parents really care. Yeah? So I think young men or young girls, we should be on the limelight. Tell the truth. If you think you should donate, tell your parents. They would be the first people to care about your health, and they would seek the right channel so that whatever you do, they are aware. Yeah? And then, if at all you've decided to give a kidney, you should be giving for an asset, not a liability. Yeah? And the right procedures should be done. And if this business is being conducted, I'm very sure this young boy gave a kidney at 500,000 and bought a car and a phone. But the people who broked or brokers, they got the 4 million as it is always indicated. I'm not very sure because I don't do such business, but from what we see on internet. Yeah, so it is a very wrong aspect that young people are being excited and run into, sweet deals that look like quick money. And at the end of the day, it ruins them. Yeah. So it's very tragic, When you look at this young boy, you look at this young man, the future is very blurred. Yeah, the future is blurred for this young man because of the choice he made. And they always say choices have consequences. So it's a regretful situation, but I do not know whether he will be saved from the situation because now he gave willingly. How is he going to get another kidney to help him survive? It's possible that the other kidney is not functioning well, and that is why he's in and out of hospital. So guys, it's just an advice. Let's be keen on what we choose. The choices we make today can impact on our future. Bye-bye for now.